Coming up on Unpacked. And at times, are only depressed. Did you find yourself having suicidal thoughts? How would you describe that feeling? Living with bipolar disorder while facing the normal challenges of life and some exceptional circumstances. That is today's guest story, and she's here to unpack. Matshidiso Williams is a 29-year-old who was born in Lesotho and later raised in Orange Farm, Gauteng. As the last born of 3 siblings, her life has been marred with many ups and downs. In high school, Matshidiso was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Due to lack of knowledge and support from her family, she has faced even more challenges with the condition on her own. In a bid to create awareness in her community, she now openly uses her voice to debunk all misconceptions associated with the disorder. This is her story. Let's unpack. So let's start at the beginning. What was life like when you were like 4, 5, 6 years old?
Nekele hyper. Ke rata ho bapala. Ke le ngwana mama. Mama kana sa batle Mexican.
And what was the family structure like at the time?
Okay, lelapa le na le di ups and downs that thing. I wouldn't say much, but then ne re tshwarana.
And did you feel at the time, because you already say that you were hyper?
Yes.
Is that what they told you were, or you felt like a hyper?
No, I get hyper. Ne ke rata ho bapala too much. I was everywhere. Yeah.
And was it a bad thing or a good thing?
It was a good thing, because ne ke kgona ho socialize le batho. Ne ke rata ke batho.
And then when you started going to school, what was that like?
Nearly easy for now to get the chomi skolong. Le skolong hape ne ke le brilliant. Ne ke ratwa ke matishera. Ne ke ratwa yeah. Ha o kena skolong go ba batla Matshidiso, batla go jwetsa gore Matshidiso o feng o mogutshwane ole. Yeah. Batla o tlisa wa ke gone.
But did you find gore you adjusted okay ko skolong? You had friends, you were well adjusted, you were fine. Classing and that kind of thing.
Sharp.
You don't have memories of anything that felt like you struggled with, in those early years, Koskolong?
Most of the time, I struggle to concentrate. I can't track any hole. But I leka hore ke kgone ho etsa se ba hlokahalang ka classing.
So let's then fast forward to Untsoyo Koskolong and like you say, you were struggling with things like maybe concentration.
Yes.
Did it affect life here? How?
No, it didn't affect my life at home because although sometimes they get struggle but next abonds, next abonds. Next try or keep strong. Next abonds are difficulties.
And ne
nearly a large family, bo auntie, the cousin, bo mangwane, le mawaka mkhono, ka ofela, le di cousin le bana nje o no tletse ka hae.
And then bo abuti bana ba ko gae?
Abuti wa ka o dula ko Free State. So now mo Gauteng ke bo ausi ba ka ba ithu ba setseng ke nna second last born.
But le godile le for ko ntlong?
Abuti wa ka o ko Free State is ka ketso.
Oh yeah.
Ba itre ba ke nna ba itre ne re dula re le mo ka ofela.
Oh, all right. And then what was that interaction like when le bo ausi ba hao?
Ne re le sharp, although was na utlwana, but ne re le sharp.
So now you then continue to grow up. What is the first thing that happened in your life that you think maybe affected you negatively?
Nekenwa, kitsuba, but that thing, how no shake our next idea just because I was using those things as a distraction.
Automi learning.
nekele teenager. Nekele teenager. Nekele ngwana o stotu. Ha ke batla bua maka. But then how nka o shebe those things it was a distraction. Cause next khone ho etsa dintho jwanong ke bonahala hore ha ke sebedisa ntho e ke tlo ba sharp hore eng no se ka taba ya peer pressure hore eng
it's like Nelly's Karsao. And did you at the time feel gore it was making things better or making things worse?
Ne di etsa di be better sometimes etsa dintho di be worse because I was always arguing with my mom. But then ke relapse happen. Ke admit a for those things.
And if or no tsuba and no, did you ever do drugs in that time?
No.
Okay, no drugs, just bojwala and cigarette.
Yes.
Yeah. So then what was the next thing that happened in your life that you would say impacted you?
2006, then he was a little bit older than me. I thought he loved me. That's what I thought. Until one day he took...
how many years?
14.
Yeah, yes.
Until he took advantage of me. That's when they thought, okay, I'm ready for this. But then I thought I was not ready. But then it happened.
And what was it when you say it happened?
It happened, he raped me. Yes, he raped me.
And how old was he at the time?
He was 23 or 24. I was 14.
You were a child and he was an adult.
Yes.
So you were raped at the age of 14. And how would you say that affected your life going forward?
It affected life yaka haholo. Ibile le bophelo ba ka bola change after that. Azang sa bona se ke bona dintho different. Nekele wiska ke tshone nekele bohlale. Everyone sekolong nje ne bangata. Ba etsa di example ka nna bona sekolong. But then no so change le ntho tse ngata. Se ke nwa ke tsa ntho tse stoutu nje. Le sekolong ne ke apara strepenyana se sekana. But after that se ke ikutlwe ka ha ke comfortable. I had to ke seqhaqe se fihla mo. Le ba khotsi ba ka ha ke bua le nna ba nkwatisa ke a shapa ne se ke na le anger too much after mo ke sa khone ho handlela anger yaka. So there was a time teacher ne ke tsa grade 9 that time. So portfolio ka eneli neat, like I said, eneli neat ba enka ba isa ko district for assessment ba checka hore sekolo ntse re ya jwang. So e be lahle teacher ha tsotsi khutle be lahle that portfolio ne tlo mpassisa hore ke grade 10. So azang ka ithola ba la re lahlehile, meaning I was gonna fail. But then that was not an excuse. Ka re ne se ke batla escape ya hore ke ntshe di feelings tsa ka bona hore ke utlwa bohloko wa bona, because ne se ke pompadile ntho tse ngata mo pelong ya ka. Ke sa khone ho bua, ne ke sa khone ho bua le motho ka yona. Azang ka bua since after the azang ka bua. Then after mo se ke shapa t-shirt. Ka ba shapa t-shirt. Tishera bona no Matshidiso na le thata banke bankise officing ha ke fisa ke se ke na le matle ke sa tsebeng le nna hore a tswa kae ke shapa bo tishera di principal no but decide hore bankise clinic ha ke fitla clinic no this is an emergency bankisa ko pa then ke fihle bosiwa ke se boetsa hetseng ke phaphama se ke tsoswa ke doctor ke psychiatric doctor e re honna ke tlo botsa question e one Matshidiso. You can say yes or no. Dr. Lampota Ari, have you ever been abused before? Have you ever been raped? I didn't answer the doctor, I just cried a lot. Then they balan tlabaka injection ka robala.
So then what happened next?
Okay, after mo bang ka bankisa ko officing. So ne ke na le matla Thomas, ne ke sa khone ho icontrola le nna.
O ntso lwana.
Ntse ke lwana. So then principal anka koloi ya hae ankisa clinicing. Ha ke fihla clinicing ba itse no, it's an emergency, tshwantse a ye sepetlele motho. Ha ke fihla ko sepetlele ke la robala ke fihle se ne se ba nhlabile ko clinic for injection ya hore ke robala. Ha ke fihla ke robetse vele ko para kwana. Bosibu it was around 12 bosibu midnight. Ke tsoswa ke doctor. Doctor wa mpotsa hore Matshidiso ke tlo botsa potso e one. And you can say yes or no. Have you ever been raped before? or have you ever been abused? I didn't answer the doctor. Ke vetse ka lla, then ka lla ka mata doctor vela o thotse answer hai just like that. O la thola answer hai just like that. That's when ka admit.
Did you feel when he asked you that question, gore finally somebody sees you?
I was neke phuthuleheile haholo because after the incident ke ka rape ke la jotsa ausi wa ka. But I begged her not to tell our family.
So you did tell your sister?
My sister, because the night of the incident, nayo studies. So Hannah studies na ne ke tshware ke ska ke tshilo gore ne ke tshware ke ready a kere ke batla ho etsa le mshimano. Nele next door neighbor. So bosibu bo ke la kena go munya hai. That's when ke bona gore no ha ke ready. Hey ke re ho yana e re ke tsamaye. Ha ke re ke tsamaya monyako o no khiwe. So ke re ho boyfriend ka go pumpulela. Ke batla ho tsamaya hae. A re o batla ho tsamaya ke re a re mpulele mnyaka re tsamaye. Ha ke re ke a bula mnyako o khiwe. So azanga batla umphetho. Ha ke re ke sheba nako ke bo manako mang ke bo ma 10. Ausi wa ka o ile studies. Re sile another cousin ya gona ka tlung. So ka re ke dilo shape meet next na di call back ke sna eng, but I knew ra o ka shapa call 12 ke tlo ba le di call back, I will call for help. Ka dula fatshe o la re honna kwami ne ke re ke kenya di betheng ke a robala gore ke emele 12 kwama akulalwa qokiwe. So I had to undress gore ke ne di go bone ke bona gore ha kena choice. So then that's how I'm raping.
The doctor had asked you if you've been raped. And you just cried. What happened from that point on?
Then balang robadisa hoseng, then ka admitwa go ward 45. It's a psychiatric ward.
Yes. And what happened from that point?
Okay, ha ke robala maybe 2 days.
Did your family know you were there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
2 days bala re ban discharge for letsatsi fela go bona hore ke tlo gona go cope na ha ke le high. Not like go get discharge total. Ba batla go bona hore ha ke ya high ke tlo gona go cope na. So ausi wa ka o na le teng ena o ne ke mojotsisa. O na le teng. So kena bankisa o kae tropong ho mong go nwa kana sebetsa teng di kitchening. Ha re fihla mo then ba re tomere la twe ke malmo wa rona. Ha re fihla ga ya nkgono ma sebetsang teng di kitchening. Nkgono a re o goma airtime o re shap ke gore ke gona o shapa ke moya ke hlapohelo. Then ka tsamaya shopong re ya BP. I couldn't handle the sounds of the cars le rata. Then ke la kula ona mo strateng fela. A le nna ke tsebo etsa hetseng. I end up ke gutla le mrere ke on ile mfere nje. So bo qeta go pola bala fonela le ambulance ona mo. Ne re le Joburg. So next I can tell le banta le la sepetlele. So then they took me back to the ward the same day.
So what did the doctors say then when you came back?
They said balanga because nearly Friday I think ila robala. Then Monday the doctor needed it.
And what did they say?
So balan diagnosed pele marginal depression.
And what was your understanding of what depression is when they diagnosed you?
I just understand gore fela ke stress. So according gore nka tshore ne ke na le stress about tsohle dintho tse etsahetseng because ne ke sa khone ho bua. Ne ke sa bui ka tsona ke sena motho ke buang gore ke ntshe se sefubeng sa ko. All the ntho ne ke etsa fela gore ke di kwalle sefubeng sa ka wa bona. Ke se instead gore maybe ha nka be ne ke bua ka tsona ne ke tlo ba sharp. But instead ke la di keep mo pelong ya ka.
So when did the diagnosis then go from depression to bipolar?
Hantse o tsama nako se ke discharge wa ne ke tsama child psych that time ne sa tsama child psychiatric. Hantse ke tsamaya ke bona di psychologist. There was a time it started when how we ikhatha wa ka ke vetse ka tswa out of the session ke matha ka nka ntho le nna ke tsebo etseng se ke ikhata then ka admit the same day.
And that feeling that you felt like you want to cut yourself, how would you describe that feeling?
Ne ke le angry le ka nna ke le angry hore I could have ke mo tshwarisitse motho, but it was too late.
Okay.
It was too late.
And when you cut yourself, how did that make you feel?
Ne ke ba relieved. Ne ke ikutlwa ke le ba relieved haholo. After nako a qeta o ikhatha, se ke ndo ke ipotsa gore ke ntseng ke itimaditse wa bona. Ke ba ntho tse jwalo.
But you didn't cut yourself because no batla go ipolaya.
No.
You were very clear gore that's not what you were doing.
No.
And what were you cutting yourself with?
Anything in sharp or nah, it works for me.
So now the doctors, you go back to the hospital. When did they say, okay, this is bipolar?
Nako tse ngata gale ke admitwa ke in and out, so nka se re ke a gopola gore ne le neng because ne se ke gutla le body strike funding wa bona
Go psychiatry ward.
Go psychiatric ward ne se ke gutla le body strike funding ka lebaka la o khatha nje ke ne ke le sharp, but the problem ku ikhatha ho tswa kae le bona ba ipotsa the same thing, ho tswa kae to se ke sama le di enga glasses o thola gore ke na le enga e too much.
What for you to say you had anger too much, what was it that you were doing other than the time where you were now hitting the teacher? What else were you doing?
Ne se ha ke ngola di exam o thole hore ha ke kgone concentrate, just ke nke ball pen ke robe ha ke utlwisise wa utlwi ke a teneya ke vele ke gaole ball pen ke betse jwalo no ba jwalo every time.
So now they are diagnosing you with bipolar. What did they say to you?
Alang just gore ke na le bipolar 2. Bipolar 2 ena e tsamaya le depression. That is why ke acta so. Balang tsa jwalo.
And how did they explain what the bipolar is?
It's a mood disorder. Sometimes your mood can be high. Sometimes they can be low. So in order to be level, you have to take medication as prescribed always. Stabilize. In other words, how some medication and I say healthy.
So did they now prescribe medication for you?
Yes, I've been taking medication since.
And did it help you at the time?
Very much.
When they said to you unale bipolar, did you think to yourself, sure, it makes sense this and this that happened to me, or these things that I went through?
Sometimes it made sense because people would say I'm hyper. No, I didn't know. Sometimes I didn't know how not bipolar hyper. But then sometimes ke ba overexcited for ntho, then ke khutla ke relapse fe happen wa bona motse ka se theoile se ke na di moods all of a sudden wa bona le nna ne se ke sa understand o thola ke kwatile but a ke tse kwatetse.
And at times how nole depressed, did you find yourself having suicidal thoughts?
A lot of times ka nako tse ngata because I would sometimes ke di razor ke di hlafune ke re ke ipolaya. I remember the time ne ke admitwa ko bar ko ward 55 ke admission ward. That time ne ke khathetse ne se ke bona gore ke khathetse, now I need to stop this wa bona ke robetse ne ke le one ka ward ya basadi ha ke robetse ke ntse di springs am bed di springs ke ne le di hooks di hooks ka di ne ke admitwa tse hore ke go ntse di raise but that time ze ke ha ba yon check ko x-ray ke kwentse di hooks di hooks
the tshwerentse a bed
tse tshwereng bed. So then that time ha ba nkisa hore ba check hore di razor tse di dutse jwang ko nna o ba check hore ho etsahalang ha ba sa bona di razor se ba bona di hooks tse di qala fatshe mo di tla hodimo. So next ba tlo bua hore ke thotse kae because next ba tlo thola thuso ne ke batla ho shwa ne ke batla ho shwa because ne se ke bona hore bophelo ba ka ke eng, what's the use hore ke phele, cause batho ba utlwisisi ntho ke e feelang ka hare nna hore ke feela jwang. At least hore ba mmite halfway ba mpotse hore how you feeling, next kgone le hore next
Understand, yeah.
no sena motho understanda hore ke feela jwang. No sena motho le wa nkgathellang wa botsa hore Matshidiso ho etsahalang ka hlong ya hao. Sometimes ne ke utlwa di-voice nje ke tsona tse neng ntjwetsa hore ke ipolaye.
And at the same time, Luena, you didn't understand.
Ne sa tsebe go etsahalang. Or ne ke ipotsa hore ke yona bipolar e ba buang ka yona o reng, cause ne ke utlwa di-voices ko di tsebeng tsa ka. So then le nna I end up ke etsa dintho tsona tse ba ntjwetsang tsona ka di tsebeng tsa ka hore ke di etse. Gore ke ipolaye. So then after ho nwa di-hooks tseo, bo doctor ke beiwa ke doctor ba bangata ba mpotsa hore ke dintho tse ke di nweleng tse ne ke sa batle ho bua. Ne ke sa batle ho bua hore ke ne, cause ne ke sa batle ho thola thuso, ne ke batla go ba ntlolle ke isho. Ba qetellong ka bua le sister anang understand. Ne se bang ka ska motho dangerous ho nne, ke dangerous for myself. Then ke ba jwetsa ke ba bontsha di-hooks tse. They were so amazed hore ke ikwentse jwang
you survived as
how ke ikwentse jwang ntho e kgolo so tse 10 hape. A ke batlo bua maka, ne ke sa batle ho thola thuso, cause ne se ke utlwile no so le thata.
So when you say ne go sena motho, no one was asking how are you feeling, where was your family at this time? Where was your mom?
My mom only domestic work. So nna sa kgone go tla gore maybe nna a tla tlo nchakela go sepetlele, but magoa ha ina district too much. Every time ntse a tlo mpona sepetlele, ne ba mo threaten ka gore ba tlo mtebela. Ka lebaka la gore o tshwanetse a tlo bona na sepetlele, ne ba batla a dula sebetsa.
So the whole time, was she able to support you at all?
Even though ke bona hore ha utlwisise hore ho etsahalang ka nna.
Understanding ya hae ne le eng?
Kore Matshidiso wa kula, o na le depression.
So now I understand the depression.
Wa utlwisisa depression, but ha utlwisise hore meaning ya teng e tjho reng.
Le bo us ba hao never understand that as what?
Ba us ba ka ne ba mpitsa ka lehlanya. O one fela no sa utlwisisi bela ba utlwisisi ke bona ne ba nkwisa moya most of the time yena.
Ne ba re Matshidiso o etsa?
Ne ke lehlanya o bona. Ne ke bitswa ka lehlanya.
And they never asked you gore kopo o ntlhalosetse gore what is it that you're going through?
No, there was a time ago ho nona le series scandal. Teng o nang le bipolar. So after that, plan trigger ntho e be ke ngola a status mo WhatsApp. Ha se ke ngola the way ke feelang ka teng. My other cousin kona a re we itse keng gona re le batho ba batho tšho auswa we are lacking the power of understanding. So now I understand I understand what is bipolar.
After
I born ko TV what motho a tsamanto kona bonang hore e tshore.
And then was she able to support you better?
They trying but abakgoni. So I feel like ke motho ka fela nna o understand.
And I think just to also just for us to keep in mind for people that are watching at home, gore, the cutting, the wanting, the eating or swallowing of razors, swallowing of springs, the bipolar manifests itself differently for everybody. But for wena, in your depressive state, these are some of the things that you were doing.
Yes.
Like you mentioned that there were voices that would tell you to do things.
Yes.
Was this yourself talking to yourself, or how would you describe the voices telling you to do things?
it feels like many voices mo di tsebeng tsa ka ne di a whisper. You are useless. Take these. E ka re di a mpontsha hore keng e pela ka nje. Then le nna ke tlo act accordingly the way di ntjotsang ka teng. Cause e ka re di a control hore ke etseng. And di a ntjotsa hore nka ntho e. O etse so le nna qete ke etse. Then ha se qetile o itematsa, they gone. I realize hore ke itemaditse, what have I done?
And the medication that you were on, were you taking it non-stop?
There was a time next ke utlwisisa taba ya medication. Ke taba gale ma. Next I utlwisisa taba medication. Ke bua le nkgonne ke na le conversation le nkgonne wa ka. Ke re koko why mela ngithatha amapilisi ngisa semncane kanje ntanga zama sithatha amapilisi mara mina ngidongidatha namapilisi ngikhathele. Kanka dipilisi ka ofela ka di flash. Ha wa fela le egwedi. I went back to hospital.
So now, at that time, did you then understand how important your medication is?
That's where I realized I really need this medication in order to ke phele lena. Ke phele. Nkare bophelo ba ka bo dependile ho tsona.
And what you don't have to don't tell us the names of the medication, but the medication, what does it do?
Okay, other medication stabilizes my moods.
Yes. And Zeding?
Zeding ke di antidepressant, like ke chilo hore ke na le depression happy. So Zeding ke epilim.
And what does that one do?
Epilim le yona e tsamaisana le Zeding. Di a nthusa kaofela. Hore ke be sharp. But then Zeding di stopiwe dipidisi because as I was sekena le motho stable now, le nna ke sharp aksa. I'm trying hore ke fetole bophelo ba ka hore ke ska pheta ke ba in and out sepetlele now and then ke itshware hantle ha ke sa tsuba ke sa nwa ke sa etsa ntho tseo ke still so ke na le a partner o understandang o sa judging o understandang hore o sa batleng le hore ha ke a sa batleng le mpona hore ha kwatile o dula o be happiness ya ka pele.
And do you feel, because I get you say you stopped medication, did you do this with the doctors?
Yes, I before, if you're a psychiatric patient, you have to talk with your doctor Bailey how about one because there are medication that could affect the fetus.
So you now want to have a child, so you stop certain medication with the doctor.
Yes.
Okay. And have you found Hore you ever reached the point that bipolar how did get stabilized and you had a sense of normalcy in your life?
Yes. Yes. Sometimes again.
Like what are some of the things that trigger you?
Family, I would say. And le young one I trigger her whole. I really want a baby, can I need miscarriage? Yes. Leona yan trigger her whole. Although my boyfriend doesn't put too much pressure on me. He will always say, I'm not putting too much pressure on you. Let's hurry do le but e ka re ke nne ke ipang pressure upon. Sometimes he feels like hanka ba le ngwana bophelo ba ka never ke sa ba le ntho ya body bipolar body eng wa bona. Ke feels like maybe ke tlo change ke be right. Ke ipona hore ke nne ke itematsang ke fa too much pressure.
So where are you today in life, would you say, with regards to your bipolar?
Nka tjho hore there are a lot of things has changed. I moved from my location because mental illness. Because sometimes never self-esteem. So I end up I end up relocate. Change Luya spetlela now and then, aksaya spetlela. Ke medication naka handle.
And just in terms of maybe what you think people misunderstand about having bipolar.
Batho ntaba sa itlisising hore not like how re batla o treat us special. No. We are normal people. But there are certain things that you have to learn about people who are living with bipolar. Check what you're saying before you talk. Check how because sometimes we feel offended. No man, Wena o no joke. Nna ke nkile personal. It's a big deal ho nna. Because say dutse mo ho nna etse ke gore ke a hlanya eng. Nka qetella ke ntse ntwe go nka lebaka la ntwe eo e nyane eo.
So we must just be more sensitive.
Sensitive, yes. A re go treat special. No, we're not special. But ntwe e buang e check gore e tlo ntula jwang pele.
What do you hope for yourself for the future?
Ke hope ntho tse ngata. A family. Bophelo ka re le heso ba ka utlwisisa what is mental illness. Sometimes le mo ke dulang teng environment ne ke dula ko high. E ka re le bona ha ba shebile kopa ba re acknowledge le rona re batho. We are not special but re batla ho treatwa normal. Wa bona o ska bitsa motho ka go ahlanya. Ka eng not ka re o ska re labela. Yeah, o ska labela.
They mustn't outcast you.
Yes.
Sure, Matshidiso, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think you've been through so much, from being raped to miscarriages to being in and out of hospitals, still dealing with your anger, attempted suicides. But the most important thing is you are here. You are still here and you are living. And all those hopes that you have for yourself, or the hopes that you're going to get, is to have a life that is stable and healthy with your family.
And
I also hope that you get that from your family and your community. Relebogile, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
#Unpacked with Relebogile. Mental illnesses and mood disorders. All of the various challenges that are faced within the category of mental health are widely misunderstood, undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, but these type of conversations are extremely important. I'm so happy that our guest was able to share with us openly just a snippet of the type of challenges that she shares. If you yourself find yourself resonating with anything that has been discussed today, please do go out and seek help. And if the people around you are unable to help you because they're ill-equipped or don't want to, please go outside of your circles. The help is there. Let's all see how we can support each other. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. Next time on Unpacked.
The biggest thing I needed was my father.
I didn't care how many times he would beat me, just surrounded by people who were not giving me hope.
Our mental health was not even something we really talk about that much,
Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Television edited broadcasts weekdays at 5 p.m. Open up to S3.